Today's video is uh, called September 26, 2011, Day of Fifth Density. There are other occurrences that are going to happen on this same day, and that's where Nibiru comes in between our planet Earth and the Sun at a mean distance of 40 million miles from our Earth, or another 54 million miles from Nibiru to the Sun. Um, the long and short of it is that this would probably mean that we would have great catastrophes on Earth and the like, or and have things going on the way on up to that date as well, which is only at the making of this recording, it would only be a day from now. So um, the thing is, those things are going to yet happen. But what I was shown as of late, and things change a lot. It's very hard to track this thing um, in the spirit realm, if I can say it that way. I don't know what better term to give it. Um, is that things are constantly changing. And the rules change for various reasons. Um, One of the reasons why I was told the Nibiru thing wouldn't have an effect was that the leaders of the Earth had made a deal with the guys who drive the Nibiru ship. This information can be found out through Jalila Star, which I consider to be the most reliable person on that subject matter. The other people who also talk in relationship to that subject matter would be Greg Shumansky and Zechariah Sitchin, either one of which I take much stock in. And then others that talk about the Nibiru thing is this Alexander Trevos, which I believe he is not uh, he's not there to assist us or assist you in accomplishing a resolution or a solution with that. But he's basically a federal agent or a black ops agent with that. He has some interesting mechanics that would indicate that he's had some contact with what I call supreme entity. When I tuned into him, I just got a natural man, and then he makes critical errors in conversations. While on the one hand, he denies uh, the concept of duality, or right and wrong, or morality and whatnot. He uses the example of a pen dropping out of his hand and falling to the ground, and even that in itself, that the pen is falling uh, under the illusionary concept of gravity and that, throws it right back into a duality format. So doesn't really hasn't really given it hasn't really thought out what he said exactly right, and hasn't talked with uh, hasn't articulated to the full scope of application of what he was talking about. But I'm saying that right. So uh, this fifth density, amongst many things, is that it has the ability to do things much quicker now than, say, what you were doing, especially in 3D world. The whole planet is everybody that's on it is making it in the shift. But in order to stay in this shift, when that requires you to basically get your shit together, quick order. Um, Something you're going to have to find your own way. No one can show you when that, no one can show you that it's inside of you. It's like you're going to the Wizard of Oz and you're trying to find out the special knowledge, and what does he do? He turns around and tells you, well, just click your own heels. It's there. You have to find it. You have to find the various mechanics that go along with what everything that's you, and you in for the now and the future and so on. If you follow after other people and so on, yeah, you'll get away for a while, but eventually you'll have to get that stuff cleaned out of you and stick with what exactly is your program. Now, with all this going on, one might wonder, well, how does one know that the other person is part of the same program or not? Well, on the surface, in the physical, as we say, or the flesh, you'll never be able to know. You'll never be able to religiousze it or be able to theoretically understand it or act, mentally figure it out with that. The only way you'll be able to know is by your heart chakra or your fourth chakra, by your witness of your spirit or your heart. Not to be confused with the heart that girls often refer to when they say, "Oh, you're not talking to my heart." They're really talking about the third chakra. They're talking more in the emotions, and in these different chakras that it gets kind of confusing. Every chakra level has a certain set of eyes from which they see, a vantage point in which they understand things, and certain ways of, of solving the problems or the solutions or getting the solutions done. Same thing in the visionary concept constructs when going into different realms when are you seeing something, say in fourth dimension or say fourth density? It's not necessarily the same thing. And I don't know if I like the word fourth dimension. There's not a line that separates one from the other or not. It's not a geographical thing. But let's say, for all intents and purposes, let's say we'll leave it at fourth dimension. Are you seeing fourth dimension things with a three-dimensional predisposition, three-dimensional mind, or are you seeing it exactly as it is, whereas you're changed into that area of the fourth dimension, seeing things such as they really are? Now, from that standpoint, going back into third dimension or third density with that, it becomes quite a mystery with that. Like one of the things I encounter is that I notice that as I'm constantly over on the other side when I'm coming back out to this side, I marvel how everything is separated from each other with that. Uh, the car, the lamp, the but see that's uh, the destiny or the program that's in place here. There's not supposed to be unity here. It's supposed to be separate. Each each thing is or each person is supposed to find out what his call is. Later on, when he's graduated from that, then he can go into the area of unity with that. It's just like even in biblical sense when that. So I denounce anything to do with Christianity. It's a fraud in terms of its Gnostic understanding of that. But then that's a good thing with that. But in terms of an actual historical thing, it's all nonsense. But I was there at one time in my life, and I realized that, and for myself as well as for other people, that you have to start out with a concept or construct of what would be most properly called background dependency. You have to start there, and that becomes your world. Whether it be Allah or Jesus, all the different various things and religious things that go with it, and blah blah blah. So I know it's very uh, pedestrian or another word I'm looking for here um, to do all that stuff, but that's the starting gate. So this is kind of hard to explain because I'm shifting back and forth between two different types of dimensional things, as well as different semantics that apply to each one. It's really nearly impossible to explain this in anything that we understand as far as language or not, because the language itself is three-dimensional. It's not even that. It's really more one or second dimensional than that. Linear. You see, skip, runs. Watch the dog this. Da da. You see it in your mind in a two-dimensional imagery or not. And you see it on a piece of paper in two dimensions. Lines on the page are in a two-dimensional format. You're basically taking something in a three-dimension and writing it down in a second dimension. So now someone will say, well, you're making these dates when and that's all a bunch of BS, and it should be that depending on the person's consciousness, he can have anything at any time, in any place. And yes, that's true. That's true. But has that door been opened for you? See, yeah, it's all very theoretically correct. See, that's the again is the I guess we call it the third chakra, the third chakra analysis that wants to use the third chakra analysis to jump from the three into the seventh chakra, or maybe what others might also understand to be a ninth density one. Uh, because you have in the third, you just because you understand that it's possible, therefore you're doing it. No, it doesn't work that way. You know, you have to be invited into this thing with that, and then wait for it to happen to you with that. From on high. Uh, from on high, I say from that which is what I would identify as supreme entity, not a name, not a Jesus, not an Allah, not a Krishna. Those are all those are all just names, or should be just representative titles, but not names on that for a supreme entity. This is aggravating. This stupid terms that have been devoted to just their names. Everybody throws them down. Oh no, it's Krishna. Now I've been around groups that say that, like the Krishnas, they tune in. I've only had one case where a guy talked about Krishna, and as a title name, as a vibration change with that. And a lot of those people there don't have any connections with their chakra, knowing things when that, having witness when that. But that's no different is the case in Christianity or Judaism, that, or Muslims, Allah thing. Very few have it together in that. Probably uh, on this planet here, you probably couldn't have more than probably a couple hundred people that are seven chakra development, and can manifest at that level. I know that I'm not able to do that. I'm I'm able to operate in the uh, in those realms, but not in a manifestation stationary realm or not. Which then again, I'm not sure if that's necessarily necessary either or not. Anyway, so we have this as it were, like an astral plane. We want to call it the fifth density, and we have this three dimensional, and these things are merged now into one to achieve a quickened pace from that. And this is also preached in amongst the Mayans. The Mayans talk about different layers of the ziggurat, and they said that when you get to the last layer, when you have quicker changes. So the second layer before that was like every 19 years you'd have a major change, but now you have one change every 335 days or something like that. Well, as I see it, it quickens up much more than that with that. So at one point I was told that when this shift would happen, now there would be a 5-year grace period in which people would have time to adjust. Now I get multiple witnesses coming in. Some things are as a matter of a few hours, others a day, others a month on that. Most of them are within a very short span of time, a month or less from that. And what that means is that if you're in this deal and you don't want a part of it, or it's all bullshit with that and everything, and you don't want to play ball with that, well then you get to go back to the other Earth that's here. It's actually not so much. It's also, you could say it's another vibration, but it's also in another universe. This shift that happens on the 26th is not just a shift of another vibration. It's also a shift into another universe. The same Earth, but yet in another universe. Understand what I mean by universe now. Universe comprises of many galaxies, billions of galaxies, in which each galaxy has billions of sun. Well, let's say, yeah, billions of suns, and who knows how many quadrillions and quintillions of planets from that. So it's a very, very largely developed thing with that. And in every one of these universes, and some people talk about the Tao universe. There's all kinds of universes out there. And then uh, even with all the things that are on this planet are brought in from other universes, not just other planets, but other universes that operate that way, like the trees and the hard subject matter. People who are on drugs see this stuff. They see them as walking around because what they're doing is they're visiting these objects as they really are from their